We enter this building every day with that mindset of, it's one day at a time, but there's a lot at stake. 7 games left, and each one of them holds, maximum value.
The Broncos have 7 games left on the schedule, 5 against AFC West teams, starting with the Chargers, and we're getting you ready for kickoff. Hello, I'm Phil Milani, alongside Sidney Jones and Eric Dalala. Hope you had a wonderful Thanksgiving. Guys, looking at this game, the Broncos coming off the bye. Sidney, what type of team are you expecting to see hit the field this Sunday?
Right, Phil. Well, first and foremost, I'm hoping to see a refreshed team. I hope they took the bye to, mentally and physically just step away from the game, and hopefully we'll see them on Sunday come out with a new sense of hope, new sense of urgency. I mean, this team is 5-5 in a really tight division right now with 5 division games left. I know it might sound crazy to say, but the playoffs are still attainable. And I think reaching the playoffs, first things first, is got to go out there and beat the Chargers this weekend. So I think a win on Sunday would be huge for this team's confidence, especially since they're now heading to Arrowhead to face the Chargers on Sunday Night Football the following week.
The face the Chiefs.
Oh, Chiefs. Yes. Sorry, I said Chargers.
No, that's right. Got to start one game at a time, though. See, Sydney's
already jumping ahead.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what it is. It might have been the bye week, but the Broncos were still busy. Tim Patrick, new deal. Cortland Sutton, new deal. Guys are getting healthy. We saw Bradley Chubb return to practice earlier this week. Eric, what type of team are you expecting on Sunday?
Well, I think you want to see a focused team. You want to see them come out, play well from the beginning, start fast. Those are things that I think you can take care of from a mental standpoint. I mean, I think back in Pittsburgh, we saw a team that maybe wasn't ready to go right away. Hopefully you see a team at 2:05 Mountain Time ready to kick it off, ready to go against the Chargers. I think guys like Cortland Sutton and Tim Patrick will be motivated to play well, show that they deserve those contracts. If Bradley Chubb is able to play in whatever capacity, I'd expect him to be fired up and ready to go. Could get some other guys back, whether it's Bobby Massey, Baron Browning, whoever it is. So like Sidney mentioned, refreshed. But I also think you need to have that focus of this matchup is incredibly important. Vic Fangio said it on Wednesday. You've got to win here this weekend. You got to play well to make the rest of them important. It doesn't matter about the later games if you can't stack wins right now. So hopefully you see a team that's ready to come out and do that.
If the Broncos can beat the Chargers this Sunday, it'll make that Chiefs game even more important, maybe the top spot in the division on the line a week from now. So we'll have to see. Eric mentioned it. Here's what Vic Fangio had to say about the importance of this next game.
Everything, our total focus, emotionally, mentally, and physically, is on this game. And I think if you try and get ahead of yourself, you're only setting yourself up for, a fall. We've got to play this game to make the rest of them more meaningful.
Diving in closer now to this matchup with the Chargers. Of course, the Chargers have one of the more explosive offenses in the entire NFL, 8th in terms of yards per game. It starts with Justin Herbert, right, Sidney?
I completely agree, Phil. I mean, he was good last year, his rookie season, and we've kind of seen him take that to another level this year. He's smart. He can take care of the football. I mean, he could throw it 70 yards on the run. I mean, I think back to Sunday, the game they played against the Steelers, and he became the first player in NFL history to have as many as 350 passing yards and 90 rushing yards in a game. So I think Vic Fangio said it best earlier in the week. Justin Herbert's a complete quarterback, and our defense is certainly going to be have a tough challenge going up against him.
Well, we knew that John Elway really liked Justin Herbert. If he would have come out 1 year earlier, maybe he would have been in a Broncos uniform. But of course now he's playing in Los Angeles. Talking about that Steelers game, Eric, there was another player who was lining up the scoreboard too.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, you think about Keenan Allen and Mike Williams at receiver, but Austin Eckler, the running back, you cannot forget about the former undrafted player. Phil, he's from Colorado. He went to school here. How'd he get away?
I know.
He had 4 touchdowns against the Steelers, and while he's good on the ground, I think it's in the passing game where he worries me even more. He can break tackles. He's shifty. He can, if you have just one guy on him, he's able to fight through that tackle attempt. And the Broncos have struggled at times this year with running backs coming out of the backfield and catching passes. They got to be ready for him. Hopefully Baron Browning, like I mentioned before, if he can come back, that could be helpful in containing Eckler, but that's where it starts, I think. Because if Eckler gets going and he's, punishing you on the ground and through the air, I don't know how you're going to be able to stop this Chargers offense. You've got to slow him down first. then worry about Keenan Allen and Mike Williams.
See, I think Keenan Allen, he's the guy that makes it go. Leads the team in receiving yards, so shifty. I think that he's so dangerous. And then, of course, you meant Mike Williams. I mean, he had the game-winning touchdown a week ago. So many weapons on that offensive side of the ball for the Chargers. Here's what Justin Simmons had to say about Justin Herbert and his growth in his second year.
I just think it's the confidence. He's seeing what he's seeing early and just being decisive with his decision making. Whether that's making a throw in a tight window or not liking what he sees to start and pulling the ball and running it. I know we saw that a couple of times against the Steelers. So, he's playing really good football.
We know that the Chargers are going to put some points up on the board. I think the question now is, can the Broncos keep up with the Chargers on the scoreboard? Sydney, what do you think?
Yeah, that's a tough one, Phil. I mean, looking back this season, the Broncos, they've only scored more than 20 points twice since week 3. Went 2-5 during that span. And then you look at the Chargers, and they've scored 20 points or more in 8 games so far this season. So I don't know. I'm hoping they will. I'm thinking that they will. They got the playoffs on their mind. Like Eric mentioned earlier, Tim Patrick and Cortland Sutton, they're coming in to this game after new deal. So they're probably going to go out there and show that they've really earned that.
Yeah, and Melvin Gordon facing his old team in the Chargers. So a lot of guys with a lot to prove this week. Eric, we've seen what this Broncos offense could do when they put it all together. That Cowboys game scored 30 points there. Can they do it again this week?
Well, I think they're going to have to score somewhere near 30 in order to win this game. But it's not all about just scoring points. You got to control the ball, because you talk about the last couple of years, games that we've kind of thought, hey, they're going to have to score a lot to keep up. The Cowboys game and the Chiefs game last year in Arrowhead, those games really came down to the Broncos defense. And could they, stop these prolific offenses? Could the Broncos offense stay on the field? The Broncos did score 30 against the Cowboys, but they didn't need to. And then, of course, in Kansas City, if the Broncos could have gotten to the mid-20s, they would have been able to win that game. But I think the Broncos offense does have a chance here to score some points. The Chargers' rushing defense has been better recently, but still not great. So maybe Javonte Williams and Melvin Gordon can take advantage. And then you'd like to see Teddy Bridgewater push the ball down the field a little bit, whether it's to Sutton, Tim Patrick, or Jerry Jeudy.
Yeah, Sutton in particular, it'd be nice to see him get some targets deep down the field. One way to stay on the field is to avoid those negative plays. The Broncos' penalties, sacks have really hurt them. Here's what Teddy Bridgewater had to say about going backwards.
If you watch us, man, we're in these 3rd and 8s, 3rd and 10 plus. And in this league, it's hard to convert those. I don't care how good you are. The percentages don't really work in your favor. So I think we got to avoid those on 1st and 2nd down, just the negative plays. If you run the ball and you lose 2 yards, okay, defense make plays, you know what I mean? But it's now, okay, 2nd down, we got to just cut it in half. So just doing a better job, of eliminating negative plays.
Our favorite part of the show, score predictions, where we lay it out all on the line. Sydney, what do you got?
I'm going to go 27-24 Broncos. I do think it's going to be a close game solely because it is a division game. And like we talked about earlier, the Broncos are coming off the bye. So I'm going to give them the upper hand. And, like Eric mentioned, the Broncos are going to have to score a lot more, closer to 30 to be able to win this game. So hoping they can and thinking that they will.
So you got a close one. Yep. Broncos winning that. Eric, how about you?
I'll say 28-27 Broncos, 1-point win. Justin Herbert, I think, is probably the best quarterback they've faced this year. And they've faced some really good quarterbacks here already. I just think that the Broncos are going to find some success in the run game. They're not going to shut Herbert down completely, but I do think they'll be able to keep him in that mid-20 range, and hopefully they're able to find a win. They can't fall behind, Phil. If they fall behind in this game, this is the type of team that you're probably not going to be able to come back against.
I think that the Chargers, when they come to Denver, they tend to charger a little bit. You know what I mean? So I think the Chargers scored 21. I say the Broncos scored 27.
Okay.
They get the victory. Coming off the bye, feeling a good mojo.
You have to say the Broncos score more than 30. That's your thing.
Not more than 30, I don't say it. Not this week.
Okay.
Not against that defense, Eric. Are you crazy?
They give up 27 points a game.
I know, that's true. And I think last week against the Steelers in the 4th quarter, they gave up like 45 points, I think. So we'll have to see what happens. Kickoff 2:05 on Sunday. We'll see what happens then. For Eric Dalala and Sydney Jones, I'm Phil Milani. Hope that you all have a great holiday weekend.